Hi friends, from today onwards I'll be doing videos on feedback amplifiers. Right now this is the fourth chapter in 2nd PUC Electronics Karnataka board, but this is also an important topic in engineering field, especially in the first year of engineering wherein a common subject is there as electronics, diploma, degree, etc. So today we will see the basic concepts of feedback in amplifiers. Myself, Jyoti HS. Let us proceed with the contents that I am going to cover in this video. In this video, I'll be introducing about what is feedback, need for feedback in amplifiers, the block diagram illustrating the principle of feedback in amplifiers, and some important parameters like open loop gain, closed loop gain, and feedback ratio. Also, let us see the different types of feedback, that is positive and negative feedbacks. Where do we apply these things? What are their advantages, disadvantages, and are the merits and demerits. First of all, what is a feedback signal? See, for any circuit, a circuit like this wherein I have only input as well as only output, this is called as basic diagram of an amplifier which do not contain any feedback. Whereas next diagram itself is showing what is a feedback path. This is the basic amplifier, same one. The output of this basic amplifier is connected to a feedback network. This feedback network may be resistor and capacitor or capacitor and inductor in general. That is passive components we use in feedback network in general. But sometimes we use active components also. In case of op amps like that, we use even active components in the feedback. So this output of the feedback is given along with the input to the amplifier. So feedback means it is the process of injecting or taking a fraction of output signal, it may be voltage or current form, and connecting this, feeding it back to the input circuit is known as feedback. So here when I connect like this signal may add to the input or subtract from the input. Depending on that, we say what type of feedback network it is. This feedback process helps in controlling the parameters. As soon as I say parameters, the amplifier's parameters we should consider, that is voltage gain, current gain, power gain, input impedance, output impedance, and bandwidth. So by using this feedback signal, we can control any one or all the parameters from the amplifiers. So by controlling these parameters, I can increase or improve the performance of the amplifier. So what is the need for feedback? First one is to avoid distortion. Means for any amplifier we take, suppose if this is an amplifier block diagram, if I give the input signal here Vs and if I take the output signal Vo, the noise here will also get amplified along with the signal. Along with the signal there will be a noise present, the surrounding noise. This also gets amplified. In case if I connect a feedback network wherein this feedback network is also connected to the same junction, noise remains the same. Noise at this point, noise at this point remains same, and if the noise at both the points are having 180 degree phase shift, noise gets cancels, only the signal will be amplified. Thereby, we avoid the distortion. So in large signal amplifiers or measuring instruments, we should avoid distortion because it is a major problem in these things. And to avoid this, the best method is feedback. This is the first case. Second case, to make the gain independent. You know very well, if I use a transistor in the amplifier circuit, due to various conditions, temperature, beta of the transistor, if we change the transistor, then gain also might change. If the gain changes, parameter changes. So the gain of the amplifier must be independent of external factors. External factors means like variation in components, temperature, biasing voltage or the input voltage, whatever it is. It should give me a gain which is been designed. So for this I use a feedback signal. Then the third and the important factor is to control over the parameters. Whenever I say parameters, remember with three words: gain, impedance and bandwidth. When I say about gain, it is voltage gain, current gain and power gain. When I say impedance, it is input impedance and output impedance and the bandwidth. So to achieve these three results, to improve the performance of the amplifier, we use feedback signals. Let us see the important definitions of the feedback amplifiers. First one is open loop gain. The first basic circuit defines this definition. You know, any gain is nothing but output parameter by input parameter. If I say open loop gain is the ratio of output voltage to the input voltage without feedback. I should mention this word, without feedback. So I can easily write the equation as A is equal to VO by VI, or I can even write it as AV. This can even be written as simply A. A is equal to VO by VI. Whereas the second one is closed loop gain. This closed loop gain can be defined by the second circuit. In this, again it is the same definition: output parameter by input parameter. You may be noticing the input parameter is being changed now. It is not VI, it is VS, because this is the total input given to this feedback amplifier circuit. Also, I need to mention with feedback, this word. Here I made it as without, here I need to make it as with. That means closed loop gain is defined as a ratio of output voltage to the input voltage with the feedback. When I say with the feedback, it becomes Vs. Sometimes this is also called as input to feedback amplifier. That is how they mention in problems also. So we need to know the difference. If I say input to amplifier, it is Vi. Input to feedback amplifier, or anywhere it is mentioned that it is for the input to the amplifier with feedback, then it is Vs. So I can rewrite this equation as AF is equal to VO by Vs. Even I can mention this as AOL. O stands for open, L stands for loop. Similarly, this can be written as ACL. C stands for closed, L stands for loop. AF means gain with feedback. AV means gain without feedback. So these terminologies, if we understand, the definitions will become easier. Then the third and the important factor is feedback ratio or feedback fraction or feedback factor. Usually we call it as feedback ratio or feedback fraction. Now beta. This beta is totally different from the current gain of a transistor in common emitter mode. Both the notations are same, but in feedback amplifiers we call this as beta only, but this beta is nothing but the feedback factor, not the current gain. Again, feedback factor is the ratio of output to input. Now for this example, this is the circuit, actually this is the circuit, this will become the input, this will become the output. Hence, input is VO, output is VF. Therefore, beta can be written as VF. This is nothing but output by input to that circuit, to that feedback circuit. So for feedback circuit, VF is the output, VO is the input. So that I can say that it is the ratio of feedback voltage to the output voltage. This beta will vary with the type of feedback signal we write. That means, is it a current series, voltage series, current shunt, voltage shunt, depending on that this parameter will vary. What I have mentioned here is voltage series negative feedback. This beta is mentioned as voltage series negative feedback signal. Next, types of feedback. There are two types. One is positive, another is negative. You know, even in normal life we want suggestions, feedbacks for any work if we do. Why do we need feedback? Just to know whether our work is proper, people are appreciating it, or they're expecting something else from that. For example, if a movie is released, they want the feedback. Is this movie catching the audience, or anything is lagging, something like that? They will improve it in the next one. Similarly, positive feedback will give appreciation, will give encouragement, will motivate us. Negative feedback will be a criticism, but it will help us to know where we went wrong, in what way we can correct it. So both are good in their own field, and hence they both have their own applications. Coming to electronics also, there are two types of feedback, positive and negative. We will see the pros and cons of that. Positive feedback means if the feedback signal is in phase, means 0 degree or 360 degree with input signal, then it is called as positive feedback. Means, I'll just write a simple diagram here. This is the basic amplifier circuit, and this is the output voltage. What I am doing is, I am taking a feedback network and I will connect this output as the input to feedback network. Then from this feedback network, here there is a Vs, and I will give one voltage. For example, if Vs is like this, positive half and negative half. Similarly, if Vf also in the same way, see, maximum is attaining at the same interval of time, minimum is attaining at the same interval of time. This is also positive half cycle, this is also positive half cycle. Then these two signals are said to be in phase or 0 degree phase shift. They may have different amplitudes, but the frequency remains constant. Their starting and ending points remains same, a time interval. Such type of signals are called as feedback signals, positive feedback signals. What happens here is, both are of the same type. If we give, naturally this voltage gets added up, increases. Suppose if this is 2, this is 3, means totally this will become 5. Just for example, I am giving some numerical value. So it will get added up. Similarly, if I have to write the equation, Vi, that is this voltage, is equal to Vs plus Vf. Positive feedbacks are used in oscillators because generally we don't have this input voltage. Oscillators are the circuits which produces output without any AC input, and hence it requires some push up to generate oscillations. That is being done if this is been increased for every loop. Hence this is also called as regenerative feedback or direct feedback. The advantages of positive feedback is it has only one advantage. What is that only one advantage it has? This positive feedback has high gain. This is the only one advantage. Rest everything is a disadvantage. What are those? We will see in the next slide. As I said earlier, it is used in oscillators. What are the disadvantages then? Since the input keep on increasing, noise is also being added up every time, which creates distortion. That means noise level is high, increases. Because it creates distortion, it has a poor gain stability. That is a constant gain it wants to give. Continuously the gain will increase. Because of this, the Q point, operating point also will shift or drift. And because of this, its frequency response is not a flat response like in CE amplifiers or CB amplifiers. Frequency response keep on changing. Constant range is very, very less. This says that we have poor frequency response for positive feedback, and hence it has a very low linearity also, and because of this bandwidth decreases. When we don't get a constant range for a long duration, bandwidth naturally decreases. This is about disadvantages or demerits of positive feedback. Then negative feedback, again the same diagram. If I have to explain, there will be an amplifier. This amplifier will have output voltage and input voltage as Vs, but the amplifier's input is altered by the feedback network. There will be a voltage given to the feedback network taken from feedback network. This is Vi. So if I have to write Vs, if suppose I have Vs like this and Vf will be like this. You can see this is positive half, this is negative half. It looks like starting and ending points are same, but it is not so. If this is the starting point, for this is the starting point. There is a 180 degree or 1/2 cycle difference. Such signals are called as negative feedback. So if the feedback signal is out of phase with the input signal, then it is called as negative feedback. And hence, both will get subtracted with each other. It is like this is 3, this is -2. The input will be 1. What happened here? This got decreased. So Vi is equal to Vs minus Vf. This is the total voltage applied after feedback signal. Negative feedbacks are used in amplifiers. It is also called as degenerative or inverse or indirect feedback. The advantages of negative feedback are, you can see whatever the disadvantages of positive feedbacks were there, they all have turned into advantages. The noise level is less and hence distortion also reduces. Why noise level is less? You can see here, when these two get subtracted, the noise at this junction is same as the noise here. When it gets subtracted, noise becomes 0, suppressed, and hence the noise level reduces, hence distortion. Because of that, highly stabilized gain we get, flat frequency response over a wide range. The frequency response will be flat. That means voltage gain remains constant over a wide frequency range, and hence it gives better linearity. Bandwidth also increases. Input and output impedances can be modified. I should say modified only because what type of negative feedback am I applying? Depending on that, input and output impedances either will increase or will decrease. That is why in general I should say modified as desired. Means in what way I need to change input and output impedance, accordingly I need to choose the negative feedback. The disadvantage is only its gain reduces. But this is not at all a problem. I can use cascaded amplifier, or I can say multi-stage amplifier, to overcome this drawback. I can use 2-stage, 3-stage like this to get the desired gain. Application: negative feedbacks are used in amplifiers because of all those advantages. Some real-time examples I would like to say: temperature control in room heaters, geysers like this. We need a feedback. After certain temperature increases here, there will be a signal sent through this, and which will send here, decreases the input. So room heater will maintain that temperature. It will not allow it to increase the temperature above the level, so that the equipment will remain safe. Similarly, geyser, you have seen, even if you on the geyser switch for 24/7, geyser will not be affected. But of course, on the long run, its performance will decrease. But once in a while, if it happens, you need not have to get tense because it automatically takes care. Cruise control in a car, this is also have a feedback. Level control in a dam, when to open the dam, when to close the dam, this all depends on this feedback, wherein each level will be marked in the dam. After this level, one should open. After this level, second gate should open. After this level, all the gates should open. Just like this. These are some of the examples. Thank you one and all.